How did you first get into Halo?
So it began when I was, I think, like 5, 6. I was basically playing, like you said, across the street. I was playing with my brother's friend. He was a little bit older at the time, but he had like a PC, Xbox. So he had like all the gaming stuff, and also did one of my other friends. So we'd always go across the street and play. Just like he had Halo, he had James Bond, like a bunch of those games that I just didn't even realize I played. So I just played a bunch of video games over there. And I started playing Halo 1. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just shooting rockets. I always drive around the Warthogs on,
Right.
one of those snowy maps. So
Yeah.
I'd do that. And then eventually I went to my other friend's house, which is the same age as me, and I'd play he had Halo 2 and Xbox Live. So I'd
Mm,
always go over there and we'd just play Xbox Live, and I didn't know what I was doing either. I was just playing. So I had so much fun doing that. And then eventually I got an Xbox for Christmas, and that's when it all began pretty much. Me and my brother just played
right.
online nonstop with Halo 2 at like 2006. Yeah, we did that. Then basically Halo 3, and it just made the way up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just kind of kept going from there. At some point, you decided to get the names Royal One and Royal Two. How did you get the name, by the way? Where did that come from?
I actually made a tweet a couple days ago with that. So
Right.
in Halo 2, our first gamer tag, well, not our first gamer tag, but one of our gamer tags was royalty.
Uh,
And we got that from, so we were making our gamer tag, and we were, of course, the struggle back then was trying to find a cool name. So we're just in there looking around. We had a Burger King crown on the
okay.
table, and we're like, brother's like, "That's royalty." And we're like, I'm like, I know.
That's
I'm
funny.
like sitting there like I'm like 7. I'm like, what? Okay. So we took that name, and then he just split it in half when we made new X or we got new Xboxes because we needed two
Uh,
different accounts. So we just split it in half into Royal, and then he was one because he was like the firstborn, and then I was two because I'm second.
That's awesome, and it's so cool that you guys were able to kind of share that experience together, and you learned a lot, I guess, vicariously through his experience. And apparently, you got a lot more time to grind. He was a little older, so his life he ended up having responsibilities, and you kept grinding, you kept getting better. At some point for you, the focus switched from having fun to wanting to compete and be the best. And even though you live far away, you're all the way in Saskatchewan. You still attended your first tournament, Halo 3 MLG Columbus, with your teammates Homicide, Minority, and Talent at only 14 years old. So tell me about that first tournament experience, man. How did that go? And how did you convince your parents to fly all the way out there at 14?
So what convinced them was I went to there's actually I'm lucky because there's local lands around in my city and like
Really, in
2 hours
Saskatchewan?
away. Yeah, it was called PGL, and some guy just randomly decided to make his own league, which is really cool at the time. He was like trying to get it on TV. So
Mm,
shout out to him because he's kind of what started it.
nice.
So I went to those, and I actually won. I think both. I got second at the first one and won the second one, and like won the 2v2s and like free for all. So my parents were like,
So you knew you had
"Okay."
talent. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like 13. I walked home with like a wad of cash. I had like $1,000. My parents were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, that's pretty cool." And then so that happened, and then I basically just played online game battles, and I was doing pretty good there, but they obviously don't see that. So then I kept convincing them. I was like, "Can I go to this tournament?" They'd always say no because it's across the country. I'm 13 years old. They have no idea what gaming is back then. It wasn't like as big as it is now. So
Yeah.
eventually they took me. I had to do a lot of convincing. My mom, I think she just basically said, "Okay, take him, like, so he can shut up because he won't stop talking about it." So
Right.
they eventually took me, and then yeah, I got my first event. I got, yeah, 20th. I think it was 9 or something like that. Yeah. So they saw that and they're like, "Wow, this kid's actually pretty good."